XJ integration allows you to embed the features of the XJ Runner and XJ Analyzer boundary scan tools into your own test code. For example, you could use XJ Analyzer integration to do things like enabling or disabling specific control lines on your board during a test, and to get notifications if certain IC pins change state. Then there's XJ Runner integration. It lets you run your boundary scan tests in the same environment that you use for other aspects of circuit board testing, such as controlling test equipment and logging results into your database. In this series of short videos, I'll introduce you to the basics of using XJ integration. I'll be using examples in C#, LabVIEW and TestStand to show you how to integrate the features of XJ Runner and XJ Analyzer into .NET applications and third-party test executives. But in this first video, I want to share some key principles for using XJ integration. These are important points that you need to understand to make your code work properly and to get the best out of XJ integration. To run a test that uses XJ integration, there's a sequence you need to follow. First, initialize an XJ link to establish communication. Then, open the project that contains your board details and any tests that have been defined. Thirdly, create an instance of the Runner or Chain Runner class. Runner gives you access to the methods that run the tests you would see in XJ Runner, and Chain Runner provides the methods to read and manipulate individual pins like you would in XJ Analyzer. An important principle to understand before you start is the order in which these steps are performed and when it's the right time to dispose the different objects. Run all your tests for that board and only dispose the Runner or Chain Runner instance when you've finished with that particular board. You don't dispose it between tests. You then create a fresh instance for the next board, and so on. It's only when you've completed testing on all the boards using the open project that you dispose the project. Then, when all the testing with that particular XJ link is finished, you dispose the XJ link object. Finally, after everything has been completed and the equipment is no longer needed, you perform an xjtagsystem.close to release all the system resources and tidy up the memory. The only time to use a system close is right at the end when all the testing has been completed and you want a final cleanup. It'll ensure all the threads that the system created are stopped. I'll explain how to do those individual steps in the rest of this video series. But before you go there, it's worth me explaining that you can switch between projects without having to dispose the XJ link object. The normal way to change a project is like this. Dispose the Runner or Chain Runner object first, then simply dispose the old project and open the new one. When it's a Runner project you've opened, you can then create a new instance of the Runner class and test your board. Of course, if you're using XJ Analyzer integration instead, it would be an Analyzer project you'd have opened, and you then create an instance of the Chain Runner class ready to do your testing. Note that in neither of these cases was there any need to dispose the XJ link object or to perform a system close. What you see there is the normal routine for changing projects, but if you're switching from a Runner project to an Analyzer project, there's a faster process you can follow. Instead of disposing the Runner project, you can convert it to the other type. So, to switch from using XJ Runner integration to using XJ Analyzer integration, dispose the Runner object as before, but this time, rather than disposing the project, convert it to an Analyzer project. Now you can go ahead and create a Chain Runner object and start using XJ Analyzer integration. In C#, the steps look like this. It's a very fast process because it simply adds a wrapper around the existing project rather than closing and opening projects, which takes time. And there's an equivalent method for converting the project back again later. Note, though, that an Analyzer project can only be converted to a Runner project if it contains all the circuit and test data that is needed by XJ Runner integration, so you can only convert in that direction if the file was originally created in XJ Developer. So those were the important principles you need to understand before you start using XJ integration. in particular the order in which to create and dispose the software objects. In the next 2 videos of this series, I'll go into the detail of using XJ integration in a .NET programming environment, where I'll show you some applications written in C#. Then in videos 4 to 6, I'll show you how to use it in LabVIEW, and in video 7, I'll demonstrate its use in TestStand. Thank you for watching this video. If you found it helpful, please subscribe for more and leave a like or a comment below.